All right, everyone, welcome back once again to this Beefcast presentation in association with Muatarn TV. Joining me for today's cast, we do have Brandon. How you going? How's it going? How are you going?
I am going well, my
Good.
friend. Super excited for more games, and two players I really love. I'm not going to spoil the names this time. Ooh, you're going to have to wait and find out who they are.
Yeah. Today's replays are coming from the WCS European Championships, making our way through this tournament. Now we're actually getting pretty close to the finish here, as this is lower round 4. Yeah, lower round 4 between these two players. So only about 8 or 10 players left in this tournament at this point. So definitely going to be some good games. This is the cream of the crop from this tournament. And certainly right here in the top right-hand corner of Daybreak, this green Protoss player, definitely one of the top players in Europe, definitely one of the top players at this tournament. He is Team Grubby's Grubby.
And his opponent, the one and only, all-knowing Ret. Just so awesome. He plays for Team Liquid. He's playing Loser today.
Yeah, you can actually follow him over at LiquidRet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty simple. Kind of straightforward.
That joke actually needs to die. Like,
Which one?
follow LiquidRet.
At LiquidRet?
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
I'm missing something here, because you've mentioned that joke a lot, and I have no idea what
Wait,
joke
are you
it is.
serious?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
How do you not know that joke?
I don't know. What is it?
Okay. So, basically what happened was maybe 3 months ago, 4 months ago now, in a GSL cast, Artosis and Tasteless were promoting their own Twitters, like they always do. Blah blah blah. Follow me at Call Me Tasteless and follow me at Artosis. And Rhett tweeted, he's like, maybe instead of promoting yourselves, you should promote the players that you're casting. And it's like the player. He was basically saying players don't get enough recognition. Blah 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 blah. And I think the following week or something was Home Story Cup. I want to say, yeah, it was Home Story Cup.
Right.
And the entire time, no matter who was casting, they would say, blah, 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 and make sure to follow LiquidRet over at LiquidRet. And it was just like every cast. And back at NASL TV, they did the same thing forever now.
Okay.
And, yeah, so pretty much anytime you mention Twitter, like, it's like, okay, and here's Night End, you can follow him at LiquidRet. It's like, you just give out wrong Twitters just because it's Rhett.
Just because it's Ret, man.
Just
You
'cause
gotta
it's
go
Ret.
to his Twitter.
Yeah. So now Rhett has like twice the amount of followers that he did before.
Because everyone's following Liquid Ret.
Yep.
Oh gosh, this is bad. Ling's gonna get into Grubby.
Ling's actually making their way up the ramp here. They're going to be able to pick off one probe, and the probes are actually going to retreat there. Not enough to complete that wall off, so they're going to get into the mineral line. This is going to be very, very annoying for Grubby. This is going to do a lot of economic damage just because of the lost mining time. Probably not going to be able to kill more than maybe just 1 or 2 more probes, but the lost mining time is going to be very good. Another probe there is lost, but an Overlord, I think, was lost. There's a pretty serious supply block. Did you see where that Overlord died?
No, I assume it flew into the cannon?
Yeah,
there's something else that could kill it on the map, so I guess he flew into the cannon. There is also another Overlord that was damaged by the cannon in the natural, so
yeah,
maybe Red really wanted to know what was going on and lost an Overlord because of it. And that was actually really nice by Grubby.
Yep, Grubby handled that very well. Did end up losing 3 probes right there. I believe one of them was going to be the scouting probe across the map, and then 2 probes in the base, so losing minimal mining time, able to clean those lings up, and even killing an Overlord. So very nice job there.
Yeah, but so worth it for Red. I mean, 3 lings to kill 3 probes, that alone is completely worth it. So good trade by him. Just a little advantage that he gets because Grubby was being a little bit lazy. Didn't really have a probe over there to block, which is something you should just always do. We also see Red's gone up to 3 base. He's taken his 2 gases in his natural. Again, doing the thing, taking your gases in your main after. Just trying to trick Grubby a little bit. But, I think Grubby kind of realizes that a lot of Zerks do this now, so he probably wouldn't read into it that much if he does see these gas.
Yeah, we saw that yesterday in the same matchup between LiquidRet and FXO's Baby Knight. And so, yeah, Rhett doing the exact same thing that he did yesterday like you said, taking those in the natural, just trying to throw off a little bit of misinformation and block a little bit of information from getting to his opponent. So I like that from Rhett. I like that quite a bit. A lot harder to see if there's gases in the main there. But Grubby not going to overreact to that. Drops the robotics facility, starts working on +1. With that sentry out already, is going to be able to force this Overlord out as he spots the third gas coming down. Very important to note that there's no fourth gas, so it's going to restrict his builds just a little bit there, and definitely going to restrict his sentry production here.
Yeah, and just something to note, watching LiquidRet's economy is like just a treat. He's got 16 drones in his main, 16 in his natural, 3 on each gas, and then he's going up, so he's going to have 16 on each mineral, or sorry, in his minerals and his third. That's just too perfect, man. He's never oversaturated ever. It's just really cool. Anyway, like you were saying, 2 gas going up for Grubby as well as 3 gateways and a robo, so just looks like an immortal expand. Nothing crazy here.
Yeah, that fourth gas has gone up now, so he's going to be able to continue that sentry production. And as he starts to produce immortals after the observers do make their way out, probably be looking for that expand, like you said. Although, I just heard a warp prism, so yeah, there actually is a warp prism being loaded up here. So that's actually going to be a little bit different. The warp prism going to make its way over to the third base. So I would think that the sentries are going to be unloaded. They're going to force field the mineral line and then warp in some zealots.
Yeah, he could definitely do that. He could probably go behind the minerals if that is what he's going to go for, but there's a spore crawler, so the warp prism might not be able to warp in, depending on where, if there's room here, which I think there is. If he puts it in like interesting position.
Now the Zerglings do make their way over here to the wall, and they see that there's nothing in the base right there. There's no zealot blocking, and there's no sentry blocking. So Rhett might be aware that there's possibly something out on the map, and he is actually setting up a nice flank here. These are +1 zealots, so they're going to do a very good job of dealing with the Zerglings, but the sentries do get unloaded and picked up right again, as we do see a couple of nice force fields going to be coming out of Grubby, but the Warcraft 3 Legend actually mis-microing there and losing a few too many units and using some force fields that weren't really too advantageous.
Yeah, he didn't really do much with that at all. He just lost zealots and 2 sentries pretty much for free. I mean, killing lings is okay if you can force a bunch of lings, but I mean, Red pretty much had all those units already. He did produce a bunch of roaches, so I guess that's okay for Grubby, but losing 2 sentries is too much. He's also got Blink on the way, though, as well as a bunch more gateways, so it looks like he wants to 2-base here. And the Warp Prism is going to be really helpful if that is his plan. You just don't have to rely on a pylon as much, and he's going to have 2 immortals as well, so really strong attack.
Yeah, got to be careful not to lose that Warp Prism here, though. With that Spore Crawler there and a Queen, going to be able to very easily deter the Warp Prism from sticking around. But a little bit of lost mining time here for the Zerg player, and even going to be moving into the natural right now and warping in some nothing right now. Not actually going to warp anything in. That's a little bit of a fake. But back in the main for Grubby, Lings do make their way through the wall, and they're going to get into the base and spot all 8 of those gates. They spot the Twilight Council. And so a complete read on what Grubby's doing right now. LiquidRet is in an excellent position.
Actually, Grubby took a third, which is really weird, having gone up to that many gateways first, so he might just start producing units and completely forget about economy. He is already at 63 drones, but that's really not that much. And if that happens, Grubby's going to be way ahead, because he can just take his third, put cannons up, saturate it, and then be fine. But, he's going to see it here, so that won't happen. It's really nice for Red to actually see it and not... Oh, but he might lose all these roaches like for free.
Those are some nice force fields. That is the kind of micro that you expect to see out of Grubby, is those immortals come in and clean up every single one of those roaches without using a single unit there.
Yeah.
That was nice. However,
really
the energy on the force fields, or on the sentries, now very low, as this second group of Zerg units does make their way up the natural ramp, and they're going to be trying to break down this front wall here. I don't know if there actually is enough units here from Grubby, but he's going to need some good force fields. Zealots being warped in over here at the natural, and even the probes going to be making their way through that Zerg unit. But look at how many Lings are streaming across the map. Lings and Roaches going to be able to converge on this Protoss army right here, and there's going to need to be perfect force fields right now. And Grubby is just stretched to the limit right here, being attacked from 3 different angles. He's got units up in his main. He's got units at his natural wall. He's probably even got units nothing at the third right now. But there is so much Zerg here right now. Going to be able to finally clean up everything in the natural. But the third looks like it's going to be under some serious pressure.
Yeah, and he's already lost a bunch of economy in his main and his natural, so losing more probes at his third is pretty rough. This one stalker tries to kill 4 roaches, but that's not going to go well. There are, however, some reinforcements coming to help out, and a cannon here, so shouldn't lose too much more. But that really hurt for Grubby. And where's his army?
It's dead.
Okay, I thought he might have moved out. I only see like 10 units.
Yeah, they're all behind the third mineral line. That's literally everything he has. There's 2 stalkers in the main, plus that, and that's all he has. Behind this, LiquidRet has gone ahead and made the transition into infestors, has made the transition into 5 bases. He's going to start mining from those 4th and 5th bases relatively soon here. The good news for Grubby is that he is starting Colossus production, and he does have +3 done. +3 Blink Stalker is going to be able to very effectively deal with Roach infestor based compositions as long as the fungals aren't perfect. As long as he's able to get a good concave and not group his units up too hard, they're going to be very strong against that, as are the Colossi and the Immortals. However, the Lings that are being added in right now without sufficient Colossi coverage are going to be able to absolutely shred through any kind of Blink Stalker composition.
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
Grubby right now in a 65 supply deficit is going to need to make the hold of his life right now. 7 high energy infestors right now going to be coming over. Infested Terran being thrown over the wall right now as a couple of fungals do go down on those sentries. All the sentries have, well, there's 2 sentries in the back with no energy, and Infested Terran continuing to be lobbed over. Nice force fields coming down from the Protoss player at this point, but it simply does not look like it's going to be enough. A few infestors out of position right there, but the Lings and Roaches finally making contact with the bulk of the Protoss army right now. The Colossus in the back able to rain down some hell on a little bit of this Zerg, and it looks like Grubby might actually be able to hold right here with a very favorable engagement inside of that choke.
Yeah, I don't even know how, dude. He should be dead right now. I think, I don't know. I guess Red just ran out of energy on his infestors and didn't want to use infested Terrans anymore. He did lose a lot of units. Overall, like, as far as efficiency goes, that engagement was really good for Grubby. But at this point, he needs free units. He can't be trading. He just doesn't have enough stuff to be trading. He does warp in 4 more sentries, which will help. Really good for buying time for his Colossi. And he should be getting range finished here pretty soon, which would also be really helpful. The problem is that his opponent is making Corruptors and the Greater Spires on the way.
Yeah, Rhett behind this macroing perfectly. Just getting that economy up in all these different locations. Going to be going ahead and dropping some static defenses here to prevent any kind of backstabbing. And he's just in an excellent position. Grubby does have quite the economy of himself over here on 3 bases. Not so bad at all. But look at this army moving out from the Zerg. 200 Zerg army. If we take a look at that, that is 8 Corruptors, 7 Infestors with relatively high energy, 28 Roaches, and 35 Lings. This is going to be so hard. There's a 2-pronged attack coming in right now. And the Protoss army is actually going to get caught in a terrible position right here, as there's going to be a flank coming down into the 3rd as well. And the Corruptors starting to work on the Colossi. The first of the 2 Colossus does fall right here. And look at those fungals. Beautiful fungals coating the entire army. At the same time, the Zerglings in the 3rd are able to clean up so many of these probes. And Grubby can't afford to be losing that economy.
Yeah, I actually think this attack by LiquidRet was pretty cool. It just kills so many workers, and he might even get the Nexus here if those Lings are targeting. And what did he lose for that? Like, he's going to lose these Lings, obviously, but then he didn't lose any Infestors. He lost some Roaches. Well, he's losing Infestors now, sorry. But, not too many Infestors. He killed a Colossus and got some Sentries and Stalkers, so, overall good engagement for Rhett, as long as he can hold this attack.
Yeah, holding the counterattack definitely going to be crucial here. We do have the Broodlords morphing in. They're over at the 3rd, in between the 3rd and the 4th, but this base is actually going to die. The exposed positional base here definitely going to be lost. There wasn't enough spine crawlers there to prevent the counterattack, and it actually looks like Grubby has a pretty substantial army right now, up to 150 supply with +3, +1 plasma shields. Was actually canceled during that fight there. Needed those minerals and gas elsewhere. And the Stalkers and Colossi moving up the ramp right here. At the same time, Rhett has completely remaxed, some nice force shields going down, but these Corruptors up here on the high ground are able to take out the last of the Colossi, and Zerglings get a complete surround on this Protoss army right here. The next Colossus does come in, but the Corruptors quickly going to turn their attention to that big-headed fellow as he does fall as well. Stalker's going to be reinforcing the Protoss army right now, and they're able to repel it for the time being. And it's a 60 supply disadvantage right now is Rhett, but those Broodlords are going to be so cost efficient up there. Blinking into Zerglings and Roaches right now is not exactly where Protoss wants to be, and he's forced to retreat once again, now down 80 supply in this game, down a fully operational base, and certainly down in tech.
Yeah, I mean, the army Grubby attacked with is really good until Broodlords are out, but once those Broodlords are out, you just don't have a very good way of dealing with them. If you can get your Stalkers underneath them, then you're fine, but on Daybreak, there's so many high ground positions where you can just pretty much stack them up and wait, and it's just impossible to engage with Protoss army unless you have, you have your Archon Mothership or Carriers. That's really it at that point. Those are the two compositions that you can possibly work with.
Yeah, definitely. And we did see Grubby actually making use of some extremely good micro there, showing what he's well renowned for back in Warcraft 3 was just having perfect control. And so when it did get down to just Lings and Roaches versus those Stalkers, Grubby was able to take some very effective engagement. But it is so hard to make up for that 80 supply differential right now. We do have those Colossus going to be engaging here with the Roaches and the Infestors in a huge blink forward. These Stalkers are going to be able to take out a couple of the Broodlords, but it simply looks like there's too many Broodlords at this point. 10 Broodlords remaining as the last of the Stalkers are going to be blinking back right here. The Colossus in the back going to need to turn around and make contact with these Roaches and these Lings, but right now they're just completely forced to retreat. Another big Stalker Warpin does come in right now. But look at all the units streaming across the map for Rhett, reinforcing with Infestors, reinforcing with Lings, and this looks like it could be the final battle here. Grubby actually going to be trying to retreat with those Colossus, but they're completely surrounded by Broodlings at this point. And one of the Colossus looking like it's going to fall there, but not quite. It does manage to escape with 3 Colossi right now. He's going to be able to effectively deal with Broodlings and Zerglings, but the real threat is those Broodlords in the sky. The damage that they deal with each one of their attacks is going to be huge, and when those Stalkers try to blink forward to pick those Broodlords off, they're going to be completely shut down by the Zerglings and the Broodlings until those Colossi can clean them up.
Yeah, I'm totally unsync with you.
That's not good.
The game's pretty much over at this point anyway. I don't know if you're at GG yet. I am. That game ended when Grubby attacked and just couldn't crush or take out his opponent's army. When you can't break a Zerg and they have Broodlords, you might as well leave.
Yeah, definitely a bit of a bad situation there for Grubby. He wanted to maybe, it looked like at the beginning of that game he was going to be going for a four gate sentry drop, and then possibly an Immortal Expand behind that. And then after the sentry drop failed, he immediately transitioned into 8 gate plus 2 blink. And that never really happened because he was never able to get that pressure going, because his opponent instead applied the pressure to him when he didn't have anything to defend. And so right from the very beginning, Rhett reading that situation properly, getting his opponent at a good timing when he didn't have the proper defenses, and really able to prevent his opponent from taking that third expansion, holding the economy game, able to trade unfavorably because he had a much better economy. So very nice job from LiquidRet with some very cool engagements and superior macro that game, able to take it. LiquidRet leads the series 1-0. Grubby going into game 2 is in a do or die situation here. He's going to be eliminated from the WCS Europe if he does not take the next game. So we're going to head right on over there. I've been your casting host, Beef. Joining me, Brandon from Muatorn TV. Check me out over at twitch.tv/beefpotpie1 and youtube.com/beefpotpie1. Muatorn, where can they find you?
I believe it's in the overlay, but just so that I can say it and sound awesome, you can go to youtube.com/Muatorn TV. It's MUATARN, and then on Twitter, just @Muatorn.
Sounds good. We're headed into the next game. Hope